It is the Raw 25th anniversary, and not only that, but it's the go-home show for the Royal Rumble happening January 28th in Philadelphia. We have everything from Teddy Long to DX to Boogeyman coming at you right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There we go. See, we even got the light show.
There we go. And we're thankful. Thankful for, as Stephanie McMahon says, the one person that we should be thankful for, the one person that set it all off. Welcome to the WWE Raw After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. We have all of your wrestling coverage covered here right now. To my far left, I have... You know him.
Oh, hey, everybody.
You love him. He's
hey,
part
everybody.
of your OG Raw squad. I have Ty Matthews.
And T. Matthews works too?
I was going to say T. Matthews.
That works. I'll take that.
Ty Matthews.
What to do?
I know. He's here from the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
There you go. There you go. Also, the Magicians After Show. I am still gainfully employed as a host here on the AFTERBUZZ TV network. You can find me on Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, or Saturdays, 4 o'clock, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Check your local listings. All that stuff, but I'm happy to be back on the panel.
How are the magicians? Do they do the magic? Do they do it well?
They so much magic. Actually, this season, there's a magic shortage. That's not a joke.
Oh, my God!
So, tune in to see how that works out.
Yeah,
this is serious business.
Next to him, the man that is forlorn that magic is no longer in the world.
Well, we saw the Undertaker tonight, so there's still a little bit of magic.
There's still just a little bit of magic.
Just a little bit. Not a whole lot left.
Basically, you put some wrestling initials together and you will see this man working the mat. This is true Hobo.
Yep. Just got in from Arizona. Mr. Robert Baines was in attendance at Championship Wrestling from Arizona. And then the Hobo wrestled a little bit later at another undisclosed location in Arizona. I think it was Action Pro Wrestling. I don't know. I just go places and then people say, fight them, and I fight them. That's what I do.
And he just breaks some heads. That's what Hobo does.
And
that's what we want from Hobo.
Two guys, both of them over 300 pounds.
Oh, boy.
And then a 100-pound girl. And you know what I did with the girl?
What's that?
I threw her at the other guys.
Well,
nice.
That's what you got to do.
You use them as a weapon.
When you're a vagrant and you're a head breaker, that's what you do.
There you go. You use people as weapons. So we have over 3 hours of a 25th anniversary of Raw to cover.
Lots to talk about.
Within an hour. So we're going to power this on through.
Get right to it.
Yeah, and if you saw the Raw pre-show, awesome to you. We won't be able to cover it because we just do not have time.
It's hard enough to cover the show, let alone the pre-show.
I'm telling you.
I didn't even know
there was a pre-show. Yeah.
I don't listen. There's
it was
not
a full
enough
thing.
time. There's not enough time.
There really isn't. There's never enough time, but take your time. That's what Persona 5 says. Anyway, so we had 2 arenas tonight. We had the Manhattan Center and Barclays Center, both in New York City. And Manhattan Center had WWE Raw Hall of Famers, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
Of course, the Manhattan Center, where it all began.
Yes.
Even complete with IcoPro banners.
I know.
With the IcoPro banners and everything.
So nice.
Wild, man. I didn't realize they had changed the name, but that venue has seen a lot of wrestling and a lot of very important wrestling. Really, the trajectory of professional wrestling as a whole, it's managed to host some of the most important events. I mean, outside of, let's say, Madison Square Garden, which is really, that's the staple of professional wrestling in New York City, but the Hammerstein Ballroom, as it was formerly known, is really important to the history of professional wrestling as a whole.
Nice.
So it was great to see them running in that location, in addition to Barclays. I did hear that there were some issues. The fans in attendance at the Manhattan Center were not as pleased with what they received for their ticket price this evening.
That's fair.
They did not have, let's just say they didn't have as many matches and interactions as the people at
no one
Barclays
really
did.
had as many matches, but
It really did. And I'm horrible at this. I'm your host, Markeia McCarty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Lead the charge.
Almost forgot.
I'm horrible at that.
See, I thought you were Angela
ridiculous.
Bassett this
We
whole
got
time.
so.
I will take it, sir.
There you go.
I will take it. But yeah, and our commentators in the Barclays Center were Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and of course WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. So we began with Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon, who's the SmackDown commissioner. They're in the crowd. They're in the ring. The crowd is feeling it. Shane, has thanks and praise for all the unsung heroes, behind the scenes and such. And we go into the Raw 25th anniversary video package, which you can see online. I don't know how much time we have.
A lot of good stuff.
It's a lot of good stuff.
We're not talking any video packages.
We won't talk
Moving
any video
on.
packages.
It was a best of. Figure it out.
Yeah, go ahead. You can see it online. So coming back, Stephanie McMahon, she's honored to introduce the one person that we should thank, the same person that we opened our show with, actually, and that is Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Sure. There you
Yes,
go.
he comes out, the crowd pops. Very nice thank you gift for him. It's a Raw 25 plaque. It's beautiful. I thought it was very nice. It was golden, and there was, wood. It looked like a supple wood.
I think
a supple wood was on there.
More than anything, I loved the idea that Shane and Stephanie didn't want to foot the bill for the plaque themselves.
Right, so they gotta go fund me.
They gotta go fund
Like,
me.
what,
They
are
go
you hard
fund
up
me.
for cash? You couldn't sell any ad space tonight? Whoa. I saw that Isopro banner.
Hang on,
You gotta at least have her
real
picture
quick.
of that.
I gotta throw a shout out to Slanderous Mambo for saying that this show could have used a lot more Jean-Pierre Lafitte, because that is a deep ass cut, and I am
Wow.
here for it. I am here for when he stole Bret Hart's jacket. I'm here for evil pirates.
Nice. But basically, Vince was not feeling the plaque. He said, it looks a little cheap. I've slaved for you people for 25 years, and all you have is this plaque. It's like, no, I'm not feeling it. Then there was a particular chant.
Of course.
That, hey, it's New York. They're going to tell you what they need. And he says, Vince says, I did this by myself. Did not need anybody else. And then Steve Austin's music hits. And WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, and Vince, of course, he's playing feeble. I have an AARP card now. My bones are brittle.
He's not the genetic jackhammer he used to be.
No.
Yeah, but you know who
No.
is? Shane.
He's really
Shane's strapping.
in his prime, as Vince said.
Yes, Shane's virile, and Stone Cold takes that stunner
Yep.
that is handed to him. And then you see Vince says 2 beers. Hey, 2 beers amongst buddies. Let's have a chug. Let's have a hug. And then let's have
Chug and a
a
hug.
stunner.
I love how much they drew it out. Like, they hugged, and then they'd back away a little bit, and then Steve Austin would raise his hand again, and you knew it was coming. You just didn't know quite when.
Even Vince was looking at leaving, and he's like, something's going to happen.
Something
I can't
here.
just leave. What's going to happen, Stunner? Ugh.
And that is how we began.
Where did
Raw.
Stephanie go? She knew what was coming.
She's a survivor.
hightailed it
She did
the
just
hell
vanish.
out of there.
She is gone. She's a leader and a survivor.
Yeah.
She knew to go.
I was going to say something, and I can't say it. I cannot say what I was going to say right now. Please excuse my own laughter in my head.
Man. And our first match for the 25th anniversary happens to be an 8-woman tag team match.
Tag team match, player.
Mac Militant, coming to get it on.
Oh, missed it.
Slicing off. Hashtag Anthony treats us well. Anthony
Holla,
and the Holla Holla players. And our 8-woman tag team match consisted of Asuka, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Bayley versus Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, and Nia Jax. It seems like she's kind of semi-joined Absolution and Paige's unfortunate.
No, I think it was one of those situations. She saw Asuka was going to be on that team, and she said, I want in on
Yeah,
that."
common enemies, all that good stuff.
Indeed.
Indeed.
I do love that after years and years of the same tropes, we still hear, I don't see how she could be eliminated. She absolutely has to win.
She is
because that's worked so well for every other giant in Royal Rumble history.
Somebody on commentary called that out too. Well, it didn't work out so well for the Big Show. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, apparently she's the first draft pick, and there's nothing to stop her. I mean, she immediately went for Asuka even before the match started.
Oh yeah.
And then the match itself, you know, a lot of fun stuff in the match. You know, I didn't feel bad about any match that happened tonight. I thought all of them brought it.
Sure.
All of them brought it. So for this, a brawl erupted outside of the ring. Foxy went for a high kick in the corner. Sasha saw it coming. She basically countered with a backstabber, and then she ends up getting the win with the bank statement. How did y'all feel about this match? I mean, you know, opened it up with an 8-woman tag team match. I mean, it had a good time to it.
Yeah, so it went for what, 3 segments? I think it was.
Yep.
And it was interesting to see Asuka in control for the vast majority of this. I don't think anybody really had her down except for the early goings of this match when Nia jumped her from behind.
Right, exactly, and it's good. Obviously, getting so much time for a match with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, the more exposure we can get for them in front of the Raw crowd, the better. Especially with the words going around when or if Paige will end up coming back. So
I at this point, I don't want her to. I need her to take that healing,
Right.
and I need her to pull a Daniel Bryan at this point.
Yeah, well,
it's
and
like,
she can
just
be
like, you know, step away.
Exactly, and she's such a good talker. She can be just as effective in a non-competitive role, I think.
And she's got 2 pit bulls. All she has to do is stand there and keep them on a chain and then let them loose.
Exactly.
Exactly
somebody.
like Michonne from Walking Dead. I'm on
That's
board.
exactly right.
Yes, and thank you, chat room. Yes, Nia Jax did get a pop from the crowd, so that's I like that. So yes, we have Asuka, Mickey, and Bailey join Sasha as winners. Everything's good and happy. No, it's not. Asuka takes them all out.
Dude, that
all
spinning
of them.
the spinning back fist that Asuka hit Bailey with might have gotten my biggest reaction on the night.
Bailey was stunned. What the hell, backfist? Oh,
Oh, I'm loving me some Asuka. She's
this is what I knew she was going to do the entire time.
I'm this close to cosplaying her because
There you
like
go. There
her
you go.
in that like Technicolor nightmare coat. I am all
It's so
about
colorful,
all of
exactly.
this.
She's the murder fly.
There you go. We were moving on. We're backstage with Kurt. So Kurt Angle is backstage with a ref because Kane, Braun, and Brock will be there tonight, and we can't have chaos. Oh no.
Heavens no.
No,
Perish
but-
the thought.
No, not at Raw. That's not what Raw's
Never.
about.
Not
Never,
the Raw
ever.
before Royal Rumble.
Absolutely. We run a respectable show here. Things will be orderly.
There you
They
go.
will be by the book. Never otherwise. Oh,
Whoa.
heavens.
Yeah.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. Exit stage left.
Man. And apparently Marie Annette in our chat room was there tonight. Oh god, you know, liven up the chat room.
There
with
you go.
that. But
Give
Kurt
us some
Angle,
stories.
Please do. Kurt Angle was not in that room by himself because then the coach walks in.
I was
says,
really excited about the coach. I was so pumped.
and he says, "You know what? You're doing a great job. This is a great job." But he's not the only one. We have Harvey Whippleman, the
Of
Brooklyn
course.
Broiler, Steve Lombardi. He comes in. And you know, already this kind of seems like a match that somebody would make. And then
I'd
who
make
walks
it.
in? But our favorite person in the world, WWE Hall of Famer, Teddy Long.
Holla.
Holla, holla. And he's got his dance on. And I had a real fun time with that.
I thought that this was gonna be where it ended.
Right?
But please continue.
Yeah, no, because they had Teddy Long, but they needed a little more love,
Oh,
a little
of
more
course.
love in that room. So then we got brother love and full bro.
Honestly, there might not have been anyone on the show with as big of a gap between the last time he was on WWE programming and tonight.
Yeah, I don't know when was the last time we saw Bruce.
Because he's not one of the ones that they usually like trot out for these type of reunion shows.
It's true. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been more than a hot minute.
Chat, tell us the last time we saw Brother Love on TV.
Yeah, and AJ0314. Yeah, I know there was no IRS. There was no Erwin R.
Furious.
Shyster the
Furious.
entire time at the 25th anniversary of Raw. Yeah, I'm gonna be hurting about that for at least until the next show.
I didn't know you were such a big IRS fan.
Yeah.
All right,
He
all right.
got me when I was. He was the first real bad guy. At that point, I didn't know heels. I
Sure.
was like, he's such a bad guy, but he's so suave. with his red tie. I was a
I don't know if
precocious
anyone else
8-year-old.
would have said suave.
I
Precocious
certainly wouldn't
8-year-old.
have said suave.
Those
I
red
said
suspenders.
suave.
They were going for greasy, and somehow they caught you with suave.
He was suave. Keeping in
guess
mind, I read a lot of comic books. as a
He was
kid,
really
so-
the only one like wearing a tie at the time, probably.
Yeah, a tie and suspenders.
Although
He took an extra
Undertaker
step.
was
That's one of those really
it
old
was a
timey.
really wide tie.
Right.
I liked him. I liked Undertaker, and I loved the Bushwhackers because
of
they
course.
kept it real. They were real Southern.
They were.
Wait, real Southern.
I mean,
I was 8, dude. I was 8.
south of the
But
equator.
moving
I guess.
on, we had Brother Love, but he was not the punchline to the
Nope.
scene because then the boogeyman came out, and the boogeyman is greeted just creeping
Eating
everyone
worms.
out.
Eating worms.
Just
Very specific skill set.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
really-
it obviously is a great source of protein. Look at him.
Obviously.
Just look at him.
I'm telling you, if you're running a D&D campaign and you need a worm eater, you call the boogeyman.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, that is a good point, though. It's worth mentioning that when he tried out for Tough Enough, he was 40.
He's over 50.
So the fact that he looks like
He's
this now,
built like a large brick structure.
you know, that one.
Yeah.
And we have Sean Cooper. Is that how I say it? C-O-U-P-R? Cooper. He says that 15th anniversary Raw was the last time Brother Love was there.
Okay. So it's been a hot
Let's see.
decade.
Let's see. So we're back at the Manhattan Center after the break, and then we see the Undertaker video package. We're not going to go into all the video packages because seriously, we got
The Undertaker.
so much.
He raised
You
the
know
Undertaker.
what's in a video package.
You know it's the Undertaker. He does a high buy, and he also
Hey
gets
guys,
in the ring.
still dying.
There you go.
Nah.
There you go. The bells are tolling inside the Manhattan Center. He's in the center of the ring, and he has epic Undertaker speech. When does Undertaker
Of
not have
course.
epic speech?
And I mean, the Undertaker, especially with the Manhattan Center, I remember vividly, one of my most vivid Raw memories is the very first episode, The Undertaker versus Damien Demento, because Damien Demento scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Really?
When he talked to himself, it freaked me out to such a weird degree. I thought he somehow knew what I was thinking and was like
wow.
responding to that.
Like he was just a radio picking up everybody's thoughts.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, but basically, The Undertaker for the last 25 years has ripped legends from their pedestals. He's buried them. Now, on the sacred ground, he declares, for all those who have fallen, it is truly time you rest in peace. And then the crowd starts chanting one more time.
Of course.
One more time. Yeah, and it leaves off from
And then
there. It
deuces.
leaves off from there.
Yep.
So backstage, the old APA office is set up.
Of course.
Poker game in full effect. We've got Ron Simmons, JBL, Heath Slater, and Rhino. And, Heath loses. He's got kids. We can't lose this game.
If you got kids, you can't be this bad at cards, man.
Can't, but
For real.
Just quit
JBL's
while you're
like,
ahead.
well, Daddy's broke. What are we going to do? And then we get Ted DiBiase, the $1 million
With
man.
a fat stack. Bam!
Just boom,
Oh!
right there on the table with that signature laugh.
Of course, the
can we
laugh,
not?
the
That
belts,
laugh.
the whole
And
package.
lapels, he had pins in his lapel. Giant gold encrusted things.
He did. He had like a gold chain going down. He looked like some embassy from the land of Zamunda, or someone. He was decked out. So, and then the next segment, we have the general managers of days past for Raw. Some of the greatest GMs that we've had in Raw history. We have John Laurinaitis, we have William Regal, Eric Bischoff, and then Daniel Bryan.
Of course.
Daniel Bryan, yes, there's a yes chant. Yes, 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 there will always be a yes chant for Daniel Bryan. But The Miz comes out with the Miztourage, gets in Daniel Bryan's face because he's about to face off with Roman Reigns because we have an Intercontinental Championship match.
I hope the Miz and Daniel Bryan get like at the very least a network special documenting their history. Because that is low-key one of my absolute favorite rivalries, going back to the game show days of NXT.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, they remind me a lot of, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. There is no universe in which these two would get along. They're just always opposed to each other.
Right.
They just hate each other. And it's not personal, it's personalities,
Right. And then everything it reached a whole new boiling point on Talking Smack when The Miz just went nuclear on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, and I cannot underestimate or understate the pop that Miz got when he actually walked out. There were so many pops tonight. It's more like who didn't get a pop.
Yeah, it was a hot crowd. It was a hot crowd.
It really was.
I think everybody came into this knowing, you're just going to have a good time. Have a few drinks and kind of relive the magic.
Yeah, it's like we're going to get the band together. We're on a mission from God.
That's right.
It was, I mean, the episode, I felt like it was in an unfortunate position because these anniversary shows, they are for all intents and purposes non-canon. You get a lot of feel-good moments, but not really anything of consequence. But at the same time, it's the go-home show for what some might say the second most important show of the entire year. So there's got to be something there.
Yeah, not only that, but
I think it actually works. Weirdly enough, I think the 25th anniversary of Raw falling right before the Royal Rumble, you're going to get casual fans in for the 25th.
Sure.
And then they're going to carry over to the Royal Rumble because everybody likes the Royal Rumble because it doesn't really matter. You just watch and sort of figure out, it's a sampler of who's now, and you kind of pick who you like and who you don't like, and you might see somebody win. So I think it's actually not such a bad place. Leads into that.
That's a great way to put it. I love the idea of it being a sampler. That makes a lot of sense. I enjoy that.
Like Russell Stover's.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Just to get a little bit of everything. But yes, this actual match, I thoroughly recommend for you to watch this match, this Intercontinental match. Just, okay to say, there were a number of distractions during the match, and The Miz managed to take the cover off of the second turnbuckle. Roman Reigns' head ended up meeting that turnbuckle, and let's say finally the third skull-crushing finale, Miz was able to put away Roman Reigns and become the Intercontinental Champion. There was so much more to this match. How did y'all feel?
It's classic video game boss strategy. You wait until he charges at you, move at the last second, he hits something hard, and then you capitalize.
There you go. It's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Exactly.
Big time.
Exactly.
I mean, this is absolute proof that Miz is playing chess while Roman Reigns is playing checkers. Miz has got his pawns in play. He's playing the field. He's planning for the future. I didn't even know that he had removed the buckle cover until all of a sudden Roman Reigns' head goes careening into it. I was thoroughly shocked, and I generally pick up on these kinds of things. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's over. Well, that has to be it. And to goad your opponent into a misstep like that is strategy, and it's brilliant, and that is why he is the champion now. It is for planning. It is not an accident.
Yeah, I will put it out there, though, without the Mizraj, I don't understand how he would have been able to lock this down. Because of the Mizraj's interference, then he had Roman Reigns doing, like, the drive-by drop kick and, like, doing Superman punches outside and, like, dividing his attention. I mean, without that, can The Miz retain his championship if Mizraj is rejected like they were?
All he has to do is stay away from Roman Reigns. Champion's advantage.
Exactly.
The whole time. He
Nice.
had the hardest time getting Roman back into the ring because that's the only place you could actually beat him for the belt. But if he wants to retain, he just has to stay away. Just stay away. Play the game, mess him up, throw him outside, 10 count, victory, cheap victory, but he retains. Champion's advantage is a hell of a strategic tool.
There you go.
And as Michael Cole mentions, The Miz is only one title reign away from tying Chris Jericho's record 9 IC title reigns.
Yes. Wow. We're just breaking all kinds of titles. I mean, hey, it's 2018. It's made for that, right?
Of course.
So backstage, the APA office now includes Jeff Hardy, MVP, and the Usos. Poker game still in
People
effect.
like cards.
And in the ring, this was fun. Christian's back. And not only is he back, but he's brought the Peep Show. Not only that, but his special guests are Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. Christian has missed us. Welcome back to Peep Show. He's a 9-time tag team champion. He just wants us to know that.
So everyone's clear.
Just so that they're clear. Wow. Can I just say the crowd just loves Jason Jordan.
I love it.
Big fans.
him.
Big fans. Brooklyn loves Jason
They
Jordan.
love him. They're wild about him. If you can't tell the sarcastic font of what we're saying with the subtitles.
/S.
Everything's in
Yeah.
italics.
Right.
Yeah, but hey, you never want them silent, so he's winning. One of the things that he says is his dad doesn't suck, but then Cesaro, the Bar, comes out, and they want to reclaim their tag team titles. They say that Jordan sucks. The crowd agrees. What? They love Jason Jordan. What? Why are they agreeing?
Yeah, they all definitely clapped for Kurt Angle. When he stopped everything to have everybody stand up and clap for Kurt Angle, they definitely did
They
that.
definitely did
Yeah.
that. Yeah. In general, some tussling happened. Rollins ended up mistakenly taking out Jason Jordan, much to the audience's surprise.
I'll say delight. Delight might be the better word.
Horseplay ends in tears, kids.
There you go. And the Bar is pleased as punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Charlie Caruso backstage with Alexa Bliss. And basically she says, will Alexa still be champ by WrestleMania? Alexa is taken aback by this. She has a lot of feelings. Mainly that she is a goddess, and you do not ask a goddess these questions. And then we have SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair come to the scene. And can I just say, that dichotomy of height was...
Yeah, it's a lot more striking when they're both sharing a frame.
She's a very mean giraffe.
How did they frame that? I'm not even
She was
certain.
in heels. Charlotte was definitely in heels. She was taller than her dad.
Something like that. But basically, Charlotte Flair, she comes, she lays the law. She says Bliss doesn't have the size or the pedigree. Not only that, but the nature boy, Ric Flair, comes in, and he has a lot to say that Charlotte will be the champ tonight, tomorrow, next week, next month, WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, and so on and so forth. Woo!
Till she decides to hang up the robe. He's confident. I bet he's gonna bet his Hall of Fame ring on that next match she's got.
Until someone super kicks her into retirement.
Well,
So then we have a video package highlighting Edge's career. Just watch the video package is where we have to steam ahead.
Yeah, let's just
We
not
have to
mention
steam
any
ahead.
more video packages. You know
Yeah,
what
there we go.
happened.
we can't
You-
talk
you
about
know.
the sextacular. I was really looking forward to
That
that.
was a classic moment in Raw history. The live sex celebration.
And backstage in the APA office, poker game is in full swing. So Heath loses to Natalya. I forget what she had, but Full House, maybe it was All Hearts. Remember that? And Dana Brooke, and I enjoy that Dana Brooke is a part of Titus Worldwide because they're, getting her involved. But, couldn't we have had IRS in there delivering this line of, he crunched the numbers and Heath Slater has lost a lot of money? Just there.
Well,
let me have it.
He
Let
could
me
have. He
it,
could have
Ty.
been there. He could have been there to determine how much of that needed to go to Heath Slater's taxes.
You would think he'd be at the poker game.
Right.
You would
right.
think.
Actually, yeah, he could have been waiting at the door just to take his share of everybody's earnings.
Well, hell, he
Gotta pay the IRS.
he and Ted DiBiase, Money Inc., a one of the more prolific tag teams of the early '90s. He could have been right there beside him.
There you go. Just like a hand on the shoulder and be like, I'll be taking my percentage.
Nope.
So, yes. So then, moving on, in the Manhattan Center, I think this was the second match that they had of the night. And it was Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy. Both of them had very strong intros, but the crowd seemed a little bit more subdued, maybe because of what you were saying earlier, Ty, where it's like, they probably expected more stuff
No,
to be
yeah, I
happening
can imagine. Well,
at
and
that point.
it took me pretty much by surprise that the Bray Wyatt Matt Hardy one-on-one match happened here
Right?
and tonight of all places.
It was, Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Like,
and it happened.
right. I mean,
It did.
not that I've been crazy about the build thus far.
Hey, I've enjoyed the build, but you know I'm biased.
I've absolutely hated the build with a passion.
Yeah, but I'm kind of with you.
I'm certainly I am not the first person to make this point by any means, but the brilliance of the Broken Universe is that every week you tuned in and you didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know if there was going to be a drone or a dilapidated boat or anything of that magnitude.
Our resurrection.
Exactly. This build has just been, hey, this guy laughs. Hey, this guy laughs too. Next week, hey, they both laugh. Hey, next week, hey, they're still laughing.
No, I like the build, like the character builds for each. I didn't need a match to happen.
But that's what I mean. There is no build. It's just been them laughing at each other.
See, that's why I'm glad you're here. You're saying what I'm thinking, but you're not here as often. So you all give him the heat. Just heap that heat right onto him.
I enjoy both of them so much, and it's such a dream program that you just need to let them go wild with it and just completely take the reins off. Yeah.
Yeah, I want them to have internet shorts. The both
Exactly.
of them. That's what I
mean,
want.
at this point, Matt Hardy on Twitter is the closest thing to true broken Matt Hardy that we've been seeing.
I understand what you're saying with what they've had on Raw. For me, that was just steps towards them having internet shorts, them having things that they put on Snapchat as their characters. And I really, really hope that WWE goes that way.
I certainly hope
so. I feel like they should. But yeah, for this particular match, the commentators, like I said earlier, it was JBL and Jim Ross. A lot of blocking by Wyatt for Bray Wyatt for basically anything that Hardy was putting out there. I mean, Twist of Fate's blocked. A lot of walloping on Hardy. Hardy tried to bring it back, but kept on getting countered. In the end, Sister Abigail for the win. You know, so Bray got that down.
Bray Wyatt kind of uses that top rope to his advantage.
Wasn't clean by
right
any
across
means.
the throat.
It was dirty. He snapped the arm and the throat. I mean, it was a case of Bray just being a half step behind Matt for the majority of this match, but then busting out that speed, that low cross body, and just leveling him. He is
Love watching that.
dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, a man that size should not move that fast. I'd love to see him and Samoa Joe mix it up.
Of course.
That'd be dangerous as hell.
Well, I mean,
that'd be
back
nice.
in his previous life, there's a reason they called him a Sherman tank with a Ferrari engine.
yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So in this next segment, we have JoJo at the Barclays Center. We're back there, and we're celebrating the greatest female superstars in the WWE. So we have the Bella Twins come out. We have Maurice come out. Kelly, Lillian Garcia, WWE Hall of Famer Jacqueline.
Love Jacqueline.
Who, let's say for the Royal Rumble, if she's up to it, I would love that. But
I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I would love to see that.
Pretty good.
I would love that. Yeah, jazz. Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, Terry Reynolds. What did I put down? Maria Kanellis. I was
sad that they
have a lot
didn't-
of typing errors.
I mean, I love Terry Reynolds, but I wish they would have brought out Marlena instead. You know,
Yeah.
just full gimmick. Haven't seen that gimmick in a very long time.
I
Well,
think
she
it
might
would have
not have
been
been
gone
available.
over most of the audience's head.
Marlena might not have been available.
Yeah.
might not have been available.
Right.
And then WWE Hall of Famer, and this was the biggest pop, Trish Stratus, who I also would not mind. And I kind of feel like she would.
Maybe.
I like it. So then, and this was one of my favorite segments of the night. We are backstage with Elias and Jericho. Jericho's there. He sees Elias's scarves. He's not feeling it. He says that he's made a song about him. Can he borrow that guitar? Elias is like, no, dude, you can't borrow my guitar. No problem. Got my own.
Just such a stupid visual gag. I loved it.
It was so ridiculous. I'm so on board. And so basically the song was he doesn't want to walk with Elias. Elias is a stupid idiot, and he's just made the list.
You know.
Yeah. And then quick cutaway, Empire State Building is lit up red tonight for Raw 25. So we have Elias in the ring. He's a man with a guitar and a spotlight and one thing to say, and that is burning everything down around him. So he wants to sing to the WWE legends. There's a fan interruption of stupid idiot.
Surprised they didn't throw a Molotov cocktail at it. It is Brooklyn. Get a ring!
He was burning everybody. Undertaker, apparently Jimmy Fallon was there.
Yep.
John Cena, and John Cena was most definitely there. Comes out, he's like, no, this isn't going to happen. Crowd starts another chant, and John Cena turns it PG and says, yes, the Big Apple. Decide what that chant was to yourself. So, yeah, then some tussling happens between John Cena.
A lot of tussling.
A lot of tussling. There's a lot of tussling.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tussling in this anniversary show. Basically, Cena got a 5-knuckle shuffle in. Elias got a low blow and then guitar smash on Cena's back.
I mean, I get why they can't do the headshots anymore, but man, those guitar shots just aren't the same to the back.
It's worse to the back.
You know?
You saw what happened to Finn Balor, right, when he took that?
No,
Oh, Elias went too high,
yeah.
and the edge of the guitar caught the back of his head and opened him up like a ripe melon.
Boy, oh boy.
Gnarly. It's actually better to the head.
Right? There's just exploded over the head. Double J style, honky tonk man style. Just don't make sure it's not a real guitar like what happened to Jake the Snake.
God.
Oh boy. But John Cena, the possible movie version of Duke Nukem.
Oh,
That just recently.
Wait, what?
That's the word that's been going around.
How about very un-PG?
You know how everyone's been asking for a Duke Nukem movie?
Everyone asked for that.
There would have to be topless women. I think John might explode.
Did you see he was in that Amy Schumer movie where he was like completely naked?
He was in Trainwreck.
He looked like a sculpture, like like
ass is
walking
something.
granite.
Yeah,
Really is.
but he is in a decidedly non-PG movie coming up called Blockers that also looks pretty.
Oh, yeah.
pretty funny.
There you go.
We can't say the first word?
It is specifically only called Blockers and then a picture of a rooster.
They changed it?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Oh goodness. So speaking of which, we're back in the APA's office. Well, a couple of
Just
segments after
even
this.
more people. The game
know.
keeps multiplying.
It really does.
I like that every time you come back, there's more people.
There's more and more people. It's a
like
poker
a growing version of the Last Supper.
Yeah, New Day is there. Heath has been cheating. DiBiase has a royal flush and a laugh for everyone. That could be a ringtone. This man's laugh.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
pancakes. He didn't want the
in the pot.
pancake. This ain't no pancake breakfast. It's poker, goddammit.
So Mark Henry is backstage and he bumps into the Godfather, and there's an interaction between Godfather and the young lady that's with him. Hey, young lady, this is Sexual Chocolate.
Of course.
Sexual Chocolate. This is my wife. Yes, we all grow up.
I mean, he didn't grow up that much. You can see him at Cheetahs in Las Vegas. If you're in town, go say hi to the Godfather.
Yes, but because of the cheating and because he's Heath Slater and Rhino, they're versus Titus Worldwide, and we have that match happen. And with this, it was a shortish match. Apollo Crews is really leaning into the strength moves because with that delayed vertical suplex, it's just like, wow, he just held that.
Oh yeah,
for a long time.
He hasn't gotten a chance to display it as much as I would like, but he is freakishly strong.
I think they're trying to move him away from looking like a cruiserweight.
Right,
They're
exactly.
Having him do more power stuff to make him look like he fits with the heavyweights.
Well, I think when Apollo debuted, 205 Live wasn't a thing, so they were like, yeah, this guy, he's insanely strong and he can move like a cruiserweight. Now, if you see him moving like a cruiserweight, you're like, why the hell am I going to watch these little guys do the same thing?
Yeah.
So a brawl breaks out. The match is called. So it looks like, is that it? No! Dudley Boy's music hits. Crowd wants tables. Dudley Boy's gives them tables. And Slater gets a 3D through it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And of course, Rhino's the one going, yeah, go see the Dudleys. He knows what's up. He knows them from way back. This ain't no surprise.
Talk about tables. Rhino used to pile drive people off of aprons through tables.
He's a mean mother.
It has been a long journey.
I love how Titus Worldwide just like ghosted during this. They're like, no, we're good.
You know what's going to happen.
We've tasted everything that they have to deal out. We are good. It's like Titus is like, I have some kegs to run. I'm just good. So we have Charlie backstage with AJ Styles, and AJ calls in a relief interviewer. It's like, who could he want? Mean Gene. He wants Mean Gene.
Yep.
And Styles will have a 2-on-1 handicap match, so apparently that's coming up. And he even breaks out a Hulk Hogan impersonation. Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Mean Gene was not impressed.
No, not at all.
Lord, no.
As I'm sure a lot of people
Hulk
watching
Hogan
that
is a friend
just
of mine,
were.
and you, sir, are no Hulk Hogan.
But basically, Styles says that he will retain the title. Owens and Zayn have nothing to say about it. And now we have DX. We have D-Generation X Reunion. So Shawn Michaels and Triple H. This is back in the Manhattan Center, so they've got something else that they can look at now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, a whole lot of things with this segment. I mean, Shawn goes into apparently inappropriate stories about sausage K-bosses.
Exactly. Lots
and
of the old
Christmas
DX
hats.
tales, of course.
Yeah, indeed. And, but they're basically, it's like, hey, we can't have this 25th anniversary with just ourselves. We're going to have to bring out way more than that. And, you know, they give nods to, of course, China and Ravishing Rick Rude. And they'll say they'll do whatever they want it to do. And they will do whatever they want it. Or they'll say whatever they want it to say, like driving a tank to the door of WCW. Like that. Start a war. And they invite and music hits and the New Age Outlaws come out. And that is only one of many people. So, you know, we've got Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, and they're there. And not only that, but in our Raw studio, actually, because we're inviting it in, and it's the 25th anniversary.
I mean,
we
speaking
have
of getting the
Johnny
band back together.
My God.
Wow, wow.
Get it.
That's my strum. I'm strumming the band.
Oh,
Johnny.
so good to see you, brother.
You too, man.
Johnny.
Hey, too sweet, everyone. How we
Too
doing?
sweet.
Too sweet.
Let our viewers know what's going on with you that
Oh, why I'm showing up in the last 5 minutes?
Pretty much.
Well, I'm leaving the country in the morning, and we had to record Compadres
Where are
immediately.
you going?
I'm going to Argentina, and
Holy
I'm not sure
smokes.
where
Nice.
else. Doing some jokes, and so we had to get Compadres done, and then I just hauled it over here. And so, sorry guys.
There you go.
Wherever you, it's weird not looking at a computer when hosting.
yeah.
You know, I'm always doing the chat roll.
Of course.
Well, the
Yeah.
chat is all about Fun Dad being here. There's a lot of
Dad?
exclamation points.
Thanks, guys.
A lot.
I appreciate you.
We're on the DX reunion. So
Okay, good.
Yeah, New Age Outlaws just came out, and now we have X-Pac. He comes out.
AfterBuzz's own
I know.
Friend of the
X-Pac
network.
12360.
good friend
Yeah.
Sean.
Friend of ours.
Right there, yeah, Sean Waltman. But there's more. You know, WWE Hall of Famer Razor Ramon. We got
It goes
Scott Hall.
goes from a DX reunion to a full-blown Click reunion.
There we go.
Almost. One shy of a click.
Yeah, he saunters out and he says, you know, we can't do this without the bad guys because the Raw 25th is too sweet. So then Finn Balor's music. hits.
Those are the magic words, of course, to bring out the club.
There you go. So we have the Balor Club comes out. We've got Finn, we've got Gallows, we've got Anderson. Not only them, then we have the Revival. So we have Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson. So they're all in the ring, and then you know what happens? Tussling.
Yep. Tussling.
A lot of tussling.
quick
happens.
tussle.
A
Of course,
quick
of
tussle.
course.
One of those, hey, we're running out of time tussles.
A quick
Yeah.
tussling in the
Go.
style of
A
tag team match. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Coming to get it on. Hey, get out of my way. I'm coming to thunder and lightning and striking. I'm inviting you all to the storm. Feel the pain that I'm trying to contain.
Yes.
Holla, holla.
It is nostalgia meets fists and feet. Hands were thrown, and it ended with a magic killer, and the Revival was penned by Gallows.
This
and
match was
Anderson.
blinking. You missed it. They knew that time
They
was running
knew.
short.
A lot of stuff tonight was blinking. You missed.
There was a lot of battling after that, you know, like Road Dogg get in there. We saw the full Road Dogg.
We saw the famouser, the X
yeah.
Factor, getting
Yep,
busted
yep.
out for the first time in a long time.
Man. And then, of course, Triple H finished it with the pedigree. Oh, no, wait. And then there was an after party by the coup de grace. So, yeah, just about everybody had a taste and a turn of the Revival.
But but the fact that Finn Balor had the last word to me, now that's a special kind of rub. Like,
Sure.
That's a
Nice.
watched him during Royal Rumble kind of rub.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a
I
fair
like that
point.
lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then it goes back to the Barclays Center.
I forgot there was even more.
I know. This is. It's like
This
it
was right around the
packed.
time that it became 8 o'clock, so I was for a while I was thinking that they were going to go home with this, forgetting that they had talked about the fracas.
Johnny, give us some of your thoughts, like up to this point of everything, because we only have this last thing left.
I have heard that, and I haven't looked online, but I heard that the crowd was getting very restless at the Manhattan Center because there just wasn't as much happening. Like, to me, I don't understand why you didn't do the Intercontinental title match there.
Sure.
If you're going to have a historic title change, which this also makes me think, and look, I don't know if it's going to happen again, but hey, Philadelphia, a couple of years ago, who won the Royal Rumble? Roman Reigns.
Oh, boy.
Who is no longer Intercontinental Champion? Roman Reigns.
Oh, boy.
The only thing I worry about is that at the Manhattan Center, they had trouble filming the coup de grace. If they'd have missed any sort of actual visual cues with that Intercontinental title match, that would have been it.
Right.
Would have spoiled the end of the match, and that would have been it. So maybe they went with the place where they actually put all of their film crew, and the second stringers were at the Manhattan Center, and they went, we'll give them the easy stuff.
Could be. I was also intrigued by what The Undertaker said. To me, that was his final goodbye, but even the announcer said, what does he mean? So what do you got?
I certainly don't think that was a final goodbye. I don't think they would.
No.
I mean, honestly, I don't think they would waste a final goodbye on just like an anniversary Raw. Yeah, 25 years is very historic, but anniversary Raws, like I said before, are kind of non-canon. So I don't really think that they would have Undertaker do a final goodbye here of all places.
You're saying he's going to win the Rumble is what you're saying.
I'm saying he's going to eliminate every single other person.
Fair enough.
I think we're going to see him again when it comes time for getting closer to Mania season.
Okay. Brother Love, that was my favorite. I mean...
Oh, well,
yeah,
absolutely.
Brother Love.
You give me Brother Love and Boogeyman, I'm a happy guy. So, yeah, but otherwise, I mean, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot going from 2 different locations. Not easy thing to pull off. And, you know, Vince McMahon took a stunner. Kudos.
Yeah. And a pretty damn good one, all things considered.
Yeah, not terrible. I mean, there's been worse.
It was no Linda.
And he called himself a senior citizen, which I got mad love for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So with our final segment, we have Paul Heyman. He's coming out. Well, basically we had a crap load of superstars like surrounding the ring. Kurt Angle will not let anything happen tonight.
Kurt Hawkins, one of them, first and foremost, is what I enjoy.
Kurt Hawkins on the front line.
Getting him on the show.
Ain't nobody getting past Kurt Hawkins.
That's the facts.
No one
Nobody.
is. No one ever.
Great lumberjacks.
Exactly.
Yeah, Paul Heyman comes out and he's got the beautiful Paul Heyman-esque stuff coming out to say. Paul doing Paul. He intros Brock. So Braun just basically turns into a tussle. So basically Braun goes after Kane. Sure. Brock Lesnar goes after Kane. Braun goes on a rampage and manages to put Brock through the announcer table. And stands tall.
And nobody lifts a finger to stop him.
No.
They were all out there.
It's all just like popcorn.
They're all out there for the express intent of keeping this from happening.
Right.
And not even like an attempt at stopping it from happening. There's an F5 to Kane, running power slam through the announce table.
Brother Love's like, Brother Brown. Okay, go ahead. You do you.
I just want Kurt Angle to pop up on an internet exclusive and go, "You're all fired! You're all fired!"
Right.
Man, I understand though. I wouldn't have lifted a finger, but that's me. I'm kind of like, oh, that's between them. They need to get that out.
But if you go from that point of view, then that just makes Kurt Angle look like an idiot for bringing all these people out that are immediately just going to roll over on him.
You know, Kurt Angle does not have a track record of looking like a very smart general manager. Most of the time, you go to the show and he's making matches on the spot when somebody suggests it. He doesn't actually plan ahead.
They're on air and he goes, you know what? We just got a main event tonight.
What? God's sake, Kurt! What are you doing?
That is one of my favorite tropes of wrestling is that there's just a blank sheet of paper backstage and they're just waiting for people to get into arguments with each other.
Yeah, that is something that is just. It's not mentioned enough because it's amazing.
Exactly.
I will say this: the main event did not. I predicted on Twitter what would happen earlier today. I was way off on this, unfortunately.
Okay.
I predicted The Rock would make a surprise appearance with George from Rampage, and Braun would get mad and challenge George. And the main event would be George versus Braun. They would both get DQ'd for eating people, and then George would get added to the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, I don't think any of that's going to happen.
Hey, you never know. You never know. They may just have put a pin in it.
That's true.
Yeah, and they might have IRS there. You know,
You're just pulling for IRS all the time.
Can't say that they won't. It might
Very
happen.
specific taste.
Yeah, so for Royal Rumble, obviously we don't have time to go through the full prediction list. But
No,
is there a particular match that y'all are like, oh my God, yes, this? And then just to remind you, we have the man over the top, woman over the top Royal Rumble matches. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, 2-on-1 handicap. We also have the Universal Championship, Brock, Braun, and Kane. Along with that, we have Raw Tag Team Champions, Rollins, Jordan versus Cesaro. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Usos, Chad Gable, and Shelton Benjamin. 2 out of 3 falls. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Is there something that's...
I mean, it's always the Rumble. You could put any single match on the undercard. It will not get me as excited as the Rumble match.
Who you want? Rumble.
boy.
And which Rumble do you mean?
Tough one.
Super tough.
Boy, at this point, yeah, I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Now,
This is the first Rumble in a long time. I honestly could not tell you.
Someone sent me the betting odds, and I would never bet on wrestling, and if you are, shame on you. Daniel Bryan became the odds-on favorite over the weekend, which is so weird.
Right. So,
Bless
I mean,
their hearts.
it could be wishful thinking. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I would love to see it.
I want the Women's Rumble. I want Asuka to win.
Of course.
There you go. I want her to be able to just like chill and eat people for a while between here and WrestleMania because her spot is already solidified.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a long shot
I don't
by
think
any
it is.
means. I think you might be.
But I want her to beat Lita.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
So-
Okay.
Oh.
I think it might be.
Wouldn't
for
that be-
the women's?
Wow.
I'd say Nia. Not for the old tropes of she's the biggest woman, but because I think if Asuka gets into a situation where she's able to fight Alexa Bliss, she could pick up that title, and then it would be Asuka versus Nia on the biggest stage, two real unstoppable forces.
Sure. And I think in the interim, we could get a nice little program with Nia and Alexa Bliss as well.
Could be. Yeah.
Or they could remain on the same side as a united front against Asuka.
Right, and then Asuka picks it up, is able to get underneath those two. And
Right.
Then it's Alexa in Nia's corner.
Because I think a lot of people are using Asuka's undefeated streak as an excuse, but you've seen the way WWE kind of markets undefeated streaks. It's really only if you've been pinned or submitted. If Asuka gets eliminated from a Rumble, they're not going to count that. If she loses a tag match, they're not going to count that. It's if she gets pinned or submitted.
Absolutely. One-on-one competition is the only competition that I'd say really matters because there's a lot of other factors at play, but in one-on-one competition, that's where wins and losses truly count.
Right.
I don't think Asuka wins the Rumble. I think they're making it too blatantly obvious right now that she is going to win, so I don't think she is. I think it could be someone returning. I think maybe a Beth Phoenix. I think Mickie James for one more title run, perhaps.
That'd be great.
I'd be
Probably
okay
way
with that.
off, you know. But you just mentioned the card, top to bottom. This is a heck of a card. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's maybe not a ton of story with, you know, Shelton and Gable and the Usos, but they're going to put on a good
It's going to be a hell of a match for sure.
top to bottom. It's like, you know, AJ and Sammy and Kevin are going to be entertaining start to finish. And Cesaro, anywhere, I'll take him. And Jason Jordan getting booed. I love it.
Oh,
know,
we
right?
haven't seen such an oblivious villain in a not since probably NXT era Bo Dallas.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, God, I can't remember the character's name. He reminds me of the guy from Spider-Man that wears a fishbowl.
Mysterio?
Mysterio. Thank you.
Mysterioso.
Mysterioso.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Mysterioso, where it's like, oh, you're a bad guy, but you're so inept. What's going on there?
Exactly.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I love that. Okay, Jason Jordan is my Mysterio of WWE.
There you go.
Maybe he wins the Rumble.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
That would be
That would be
great,
a loud
That would be
reaction.
great.
In
But
negative.
it would be the reaction that they wanted for a change.
No,
Yeah. I'm telling you, Philadelphia would be burning those grease poles if Jason Jordan.
Grease is flammable.
Question, you guys. I was joking before, but it could have. Do you really think they would recreate Roman Reigns again in Philadelphia winning the Rumble?
I don't think they're. I think they'd learned the first time.
But wasn't there rumors of Brock, Roman at WrestleMania?
Oh, for sure, and that could very well still happen. Not necessarily. It may not be for a title. Who knows?
Yeah. And do they have the cojones to do that now at this point? I think they need to take a little
If they
bit of a
do,
rest.
they deserve everything that happens.
And they're okay.
Yeah, if you want to ruin Philadelphia before the Super Bowl, you can have him win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Royal Rumble will be happening January 28th at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, and we will be doing the Raw after show for that. But for right now, for Today Tonight with the 25th anniversary show, your hosts have been...
my name is Ty Matthews. As always, you guys, y'all can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Catch me on the Magicians After Show Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific, and on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood Saturdays, 4 p.m. Or check those local listings.
And next to him, True Hobo, put yourself over.
I'm on the Twitter and the Instagram at True Hobo. I do the NXT After Show Wednesdays right after NXT airs live. For t-shirts and merchandise, go to nxteam.spreadshirt.com.
And your favorite and mine, our traveling fun dad.
Let's see, at Jake Quasto, I'm going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana, February 8 to 10, Louisville, February 15 to 17, and this Sunday, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I won't be there, but we have a live taping. If you can go, please make it out.
And I am Markeia McCarty. I'm your host for tonight. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty. I'm also on Marvel Movie News that is on our sister network, Popcorn Talk. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. we will have the Ryan Sands, and it looks like we'll have Sean Ward, that nerdy YouTuber that everybody loves. We will be talking about the Runaways finale, and I just want to let everybody know right now, I will be doing press junkets for Black Panther. Woo! So I'm floating on the ceiling right now. Love you, love that, and we will see you next week when we are talking all things Raw here 9 p.m. on AfterBuzz TV for WWE wrestling coverage.
Bye-bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.